Welcome back. I'm Jana with Purl Together, and we are on the lace section this week for the Vestiges shawl. So I have a couple of tips and some strategies to help you keep track of where you are when you're knitting lace, any lace, but particularly this pattern, obviously. I have a good start on mine. Let me show you the right side. I have a good start on mine. So you can see the geometric pattern that's going on. I'm really kind of enjoying it, but in this video, I'm going to show you some techniques for keeping track, kind of a benchmark of where you are in the pattern so you can make sure and double check that you are on track. Ask me how I know. I realized I had made a mistake in a couple of spots and tracked it down and ended up having to rip and start over again. You know, things happen. I really like how the stripy section came out, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I think I'm going to have enough yarn left over to maybe do an extended section of lace, so we'll see. But in this week's video, like I said, I have some tips for you. I don't know what is going on here. Squirrel. I have some tips for you about the lace section, and then next week we'll talk about the bind off, and you can either do it the way the pattern recommends, or if you're doing the I-cord edging with me, we'll bind off using an I-cord as well. So I'll show you how I'm going to go about that. Okay, let's get started. I'm well into the lace section, and the techniques themselves are pretty self-explanatory, as I mentioned, but I want to point out a couple things. One is you can definitely see the pattern here of these like kind of honeycomb shaped things. And one thing I want to point out that is keeping me on track as I go through the repeats is that you have this center stitch right here. So you can see that column that goes right down through the center, right down through the center, and so forth. So that's a key thing to keep in mind. In each set of 8 stitches, it's usually stitch 5 that is this center one. So that's kind of a benchmark, kind of a way to keep track of where you are. Now, certainly putting stitch markers between each lace repeat is also super helpful. I just find it annoying to have that many stitch markers on my work. So I wanted to point out the center stitch that you can see that runs down through the middle of the motif. So the other thing to keep in mind is if you're doing the I-cord edge like I am, make sure that you do that before you start the chart or the written instructions. So just a quick reminder, as with the stripe section, this I-cord is not part of the main pattern. That's just an addition that I put on that was totally optional. So other than that, I think all of the techniques you should have an idea about. I'll show you the central double decrease is probably the only thing that maybe you're new to if you're a new-ish knitter. So there's my 3 I-cord stitches, and I'm going to begin on my row. And we're going to do the knit front back, knit 1 stitch, knit front back, just like we did with the striped portion of the pattern. And then the row that I'm on is just going to have a couple of simple yarn overs and then a left leaning decrease, which is the slip slip knit, another yarn over, and now I've come to the central double decrease. So the way that this pattern asks you to do that is to slip 2 stitches together as if to knit. So I just go into both like I'm going to do a knit 2 together, and then knit the next stitch, and then you're just going to take the 2 that you slipped up and over. And then I just, out of habit, give it a little tug to kind of straighten out all of those things. And that central double decrease is going on the particular row that I'm on, occurs right over a yarn over. So that's another way you can tell if you're on track or if you've gotten off at all within your pattern. Then I have another yarn over on mine, a decrease, and a yarn over. And then I'm just going to continue with my repeats all the way to the end. And again, when you get to the end of your pattern does not include the I-cord edge. Another thing I like to do when I'm knitting lace or anything that's a little more complicated is try to find a pattern. So I prefer to use the chart, but you could certainly do this with the written instructions as well. So at the beginning of my row, I'm on row 25 if you're wondering, the beginning of my row I know is always going to be just a plain knit, and I also know that within this row all of the even numbered stitches in the 8-stitch repeat are yarn overs. So 1 is a knit, 2 is a yarn over, 3 is a decrease that leans toward the center, so it's a left. And I'm going to have another yarn over because that's stitch number 4. And then 5, like I mentioned before, 5 is kind of that center, right? So this is where I'm going to have the central double decrease. And if you can knit a row without constantly looking at your pattern, that's going to make things go more quickly, and it helps your brain recognize patterns. So then 6 is going to be a yarn over, and then 7 is just a knit 2 together that leans toward the middle of the 8-stitch repeat. And so I know that without even looking, and then 8's another yarn over. So 1 is the knit, 2 is a yarn over because it's an even numbered stitch, 3 is a decrease to the left, so that's an SSK, 4 is a yarn over, 5 is our central double decrease that's over the hole and is the center of the motif. So slip 2 together, knit 1, and pull those 2 over. 6 is a yarn over. 7 has to be the decrease that leans toward the center. So that's a knit 2 together because that leans to the right, and 8 is a yarn over. So I hope that helps you recognize some patterns, and you can see that this is like kind of that donut, and there's the hole that's in the middle. So if you can start to recognize, then you'll be able to readily see if you've gotten off track. Okay, the other thing I want to point out is when you get to the end of your lace row, you will need to bring the yarn in front, as we have been if you're knitting the optional I-cord edge with me. Bring your yarn in front, turn your work, and then because we're no longer knitting garter stitch, you will go ahead and knit your first 3 stitches of your I-cord as we have been, but then bring your yarn in front and purl back on the lace section. Keeping in mind that when you get to the end of the purl row, we're going to do that increase, just like we did, but you will need to bring your yarn to the back and do those increases knitwise. I'll show you that in just a moment. All right, I'm at the end of my purl row on all the even numbered rows, and I have 5 stitches left. So normally, if you're not doing the I-cord and you're following the pattern, you would have 2 stitches left. And you take your yarn to the back as if you're knitting, and go ahead and do your increase, knit front back, knit 1, and that's where the instructions on the pattern end. Then I'm going to bring my yarn forward and slip my last 3 I-cord stitches as we have been all along. I hope you found those tips to be helpful. Next time, as I mentioned, we'll focus on the I-cord bind off, provided I get that far. And then I will be traveling for a week or so, so there probably won't be anything towards the end of the month. I'd love to see your projects. Be sure to tag me on Instagram at Purl_together. Okay, happy knitting.